Thanks, Deepak.
Thank you so much. There was really a very quick summary of the Heartful Learners Academy. So on to the speaker today. If I have to introduce him, it might take a long time. So I had a chat with him and he told me to just give one line about him. Okay. So I'm actually going to restrict it to just a couple of lines. Without telling him, I'm also giving you a small background about him. He's lived in the US and multiple IT companies and then come back to India and got into holistic health as a passion. And I truly love him for a reason that he's had the courage and the wherewithal to move away from a very secure IT industry into a very insecure, uh, insecure health industry, if I may call it, or entrepreneur industry. So I truly appreciate such people. It's not easy. Believe me, it's not easy because I've been through this journey myself. So the one line that he wanted to give is that he's a holistic health coach. He focuses on water and food. Roti, kapda, makanya. Water and food. Just, water and food. And he has a range of things around water and food to ensure, holistic health of a person. That's the only line for him. And with that, what we're going to do is I'm going to hand it over to him. He's going to take you through the entire journey. I'm going to mute all of you so that there's no disturbance between, and you can keep writing in the chat whatever you wish to chat. And in the last 5 minutes, again, I'll unmute you all. And we'll end by around 7:50 or 7:55. That's a target. Regu, it's all yours.
Yes, thank you. Can I share my screen now?
You can.
Okay. Is it okay also record this?
I'm already recording it.
Okay, great. Okay. So I'm
just unmute yourself.
Yeah, sure. And so you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, Raghu, we are able to see your screen.
Great. Thank you so much. A warm good evening to all of you. I would like to just begin with just a 1 minute silent prayer meditation with all of you, just to invoke blessings from our Master, as well as pray for the well-being of everyone in the world, and also pay tribute to people who lost their lives, due to the pandemic and everything. So just be with me for a 1 minute for a, silent, just close the eyes and be silent. Thank you. Okay, thank you all. Yeah. So let's begin the session. As Deepak was mentioning, I was a kind of a full-fledged IT professional for over 20 years, and last close to 5 years or so, I have totally moved into health and wellness space. And my vision I have set forth as to see a healthy and happy world for all earthlings. I'm not just referring to human beings, but for all, the residents of the planet Earth, includes the animals and birds and fishes, all the creations. That's my, vision. And so we are going to see the importance of balancing our mind, body, and soul on a daily basis. How we can do in a simple, practical way. That's what I'm going to share with you. And by the way, I'm the founder of the Holistic Wellness Experience Center that is in Chennai. And we will move on. I hope all of you are able to see this picture, right? So both of these women are 8-year-old, but you can clearly see, how different they are in their.
Riku, I think you've started it, but I think you just need to click on it because the picture is not coming. It's
on
the screen.
Okay.
Just say okay to it. I think you've already started the process of screen sharing.
Acha. Resume share. Okay.
Yes.
Are you able to see now? Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I have something. Resume share. I see. Let me begin. Start from the beginning.
Start again.
Yeah. And what is this?
I know. Sometimes it's tricky. Yeah.
Got it. Yes. How is it now?
Thank you.
Are you able to see? Okay.
Yes.
Got it. In fact, this is the previous slide. Let me see. I'm trying to see whether it will allow me to navigate. Okay, this is my first slide. I just gave introduction. And so both of these women are 8-year-old. Your daily choices determine how future will unfold for us. We all underwent the Ikigai session. Most of you, I think, underwent the Ikigai session that helps us define the purpose of life. At the age of 94, someone like a Mahathir Mohamad, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, he could become 94. At the age of 94, he could become the Prime Minister of Malaysia. I think one of the exercises we did in the other group is, Brother Deepak was asking us to tell 3 things, with money not being a barrier. What are the great things you would like to do in the world? People all became very creative and spoke their mind out. So people who have a great purpose in life, we want to accomplish a lot of great things. You have a great vision, you have a great mission. So health is the fundamental thing we want to have, to accomplish that. So that's what we are going to see in the rest of the slides. So this is a very timeline. We will, revisit that if time permits. And so I'm going to touch upon what is called holistic wellness. Okay, there are about 8 dimensions to the holistic wellness. And what I have done is I have classified them into inner wellness and outer wellness. For example, spiritual, emotional, mental and physical. That's what we are going to see in detail today. Whereas we also have other, set of wellness, what I term as outer wellness. Things like environmental health, or weather, or a political, or a public health. In today's scenario, you all will understand, however you keep a good health as an individual or a family, since the outer health, the public health, is not in good shape, we are not living in a proper world today, slightly an unbalanced world. Then that has got an impact on the financial or the economy. Then that has got a huge impact on the occupational or employment or business. Then we are also totally disconnected from our, extended families and friends, etc., etc. So the inner wellness and outer wellness both matters. One without the other will not be complete. So we need to work towards kind of, integrating both of that. For example, that's why, those of us who are practicing Sahaj Marg meditation, when we practice meditation, it's not only for the benefit of our own individual self, our own individual Atma, or we are not only nourishing my own self, we are actually radiating the vibration that is helping the people around also get that, positiveness, or, some kind of a peace and, well-being. Yeah. So I just want you all to understand the inner wellness and outer wellness part of it. We will dive deep into the inner wellness for the, rest of the session. And like Deepak was mentioning, in fact, 2015, I came back from US. My son had eczema. To treat the eczema, a friend of mine recommended aloe vera products. I started using the aloe vera, and within 3 days, I got relief. Then I started using, and I started using the products, and also I was sharing the benefits with people around. So in that journey, I bumped into a kind of a WhatsApp message, which I didn't want to, verify the authenticity or anything, but it was readily convincing to me. It says, according to a Japanese scientific researcher, the root cause of diseases is, spiritual is 50%. Emotional is 25%. Emotional psychic is 25%. Mental is 15%. Physical is 10%. So if when a client comes to me for some, some kind of a health issue, it's not enough. I realize it's not enough. I heal him in the physical body level. That is just the tip of the iceberg. I need to deal with him on all the other 4 dimensions. Since luckily I've been a practitioner of Sahaj Marg meditation for over 22 years and a preceptor for the trainer for the last 4 years, I thought I could leverage that. I could actually, help them know about and teach meditation, and so that they start getting the, healing in a little holistic way. And again, during one of my learning process, I kind of bumped into this slide, which says health is a summary of what you breathe, what you think, what you drink, what you eat, and most importantly, what you eliminate. In fact, it was actually, came in a reverse way. It was mentioning disease is a summary of. I thought, it's better not to, attract a negative vibration by saying the word disease. It's better we say the word health, and again, that's there, so that we can start vibrating health more and more. And this is actually a very, very, pivotal or something, a kind of a game changer in my life. about how I started looking at health. So I thought this I should kind of create an awareness for this. And so this is how I have put together the pictorial representation of the the spiritual practice, or the something to do with the soul at the top of it, because it has got 50% weightage. Then comes the emotional, about 25 percentage, then the mental is the 15 percentage, and then the physical part of it, which comprises of primarily sleep, good sleep, and some kind of an exercise. It could be a structured things like in yoga, or a fitness, or a simple walking, or a running, or a jogging, or a dance, or anything to do with movement of the body. Then comes a water, because 70% of body is water. So it's very important we drink the right quantity, right grade, and right way drinking water. Same is with food also. The food, and the common thing I found with food and water is the quantity, the quality, or the grade, or the properties, and then finally the timing, and also the way in which you're drinking water as well as eating food matters a lot. That's what I understood during my interaction with a lot of these naturopathy doctors, etc. Yeah. So we will actually see in depth of all these things. And types of diseases and disorders. For example, if you many of you would have attended some kind of a time management related programs. When you go for time management, the first thing they will ask you to find is the time wasters. Find out things that are actually stealing away your time, which are totally non-productive. If you're able to cut off the non-productive task, then probably you're focusing on the what we call the four quadrant, right? The important and urgent. Focus on the important and urgent, and then the important and not so urgent things. That's the priority in which we have to. Similarly, if anyone is interested in keeping up good health, they need to find out what is actually the root cause of health issues. For that, we need to understand what are the different types of diseases. The first, and there are actually 4 or 5 types of category of diseases. The first is the congenital, the diseases or disorders, or conditions with which children are born. It could be a eyesight problem, it could be a hearing problem, or it could be a neurological, something like an autism, kind of a things, which cannot be corrected, or it takes longer time to correct. The second category is the nutrition or vitamin deficiency related. It could be, somebody born in a kind of a third world country like in Africa, or some poor country. In fact, we were in that situation years ago. Now we are far better off compared to what malnutrition, or malnutrition related health issues. And the third is the infectious or communicable. And malaria, cholera, we thought we got totally eradicated. In our lifetime, we will never come across another communicable. But God has a different plan, and we are now fighting with corona, or what we call COVID-19. And we all know, I'm not going to talk anymore about it. I'm sure all of you are expert in understanding what is actually a communicable disease and what are the problems with that, etc., etc. And the fourth is a degenerative, which is primarily because of the aging process. Because of the aging, diseases set in, because of diseases, death happens. There are 2 categories I have put under that. One is the lifestyle or non-communicable diseases. Diseases primarily like heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, and cancer. So 70% of the overall deaths are happening because of this non-communicable disease. Just to help you understand with a perspective, I was just looking at the numbers from December all the way until May. It was almost like a worldwide, the deaths due to corona was 3.5 lakhs, 6 months. Whereas on an average, throughout the years, the death due to these 4 diseases alone every month is 3.5 lakh diseases. So you can understand which one you must, be very bothered about, whether it is a corona, which is like a, kind of a, immediate killer, or puts a lot of fear and doesn't give much time. Whereas the non-communicable diseases are kind of a slow death. People over a period of 20 years or 5 years, they actually fall prey to one of these diseases. And primarily the root cause of these diseases is actually primarily our thoughts, emotions, or what we call stress. Then the water and the food. Wrong water, wrong property of water, wrong food, or wrong property of food, and wrong way of eating, drinking, etc. And the final category is the geriatric or the old age related, health issues. It could be a brain or neurological related. So at this point of time, I would just, take just one quick question to the, participants. Uh, Within your family, which one of these things you think you have a challenge with? You can put the first letter. You can say C or N or I or a D, or you can put L or G. For example, those of you who have a old age parents, they will be having challenge with Parkinson's, and some have Alzheimer's, or some have dementia, or some have the hearing loss, and they have. So you can just put it in the, chat, among the family members or the people around you, the near and dear. If you see any of them are battling with any of these, health issues, you can just put the first letter of that, C or N or I or D or L or G. Yeah. Yeah, probably another 30 seconds, and I'll move to the next slide. Okay. So while you're thinking, you can take your time to, put it. I just move to the next slide. And okay, so so the four dimensions, of the inner well-being, we are going to see about spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. So spiritual well-being, I believe a lot of you have a background with the, either with the heartfulness meditation or some form of meditation. Primarily it's about, our inner self, or what we call the soul. There are several ways in which we refer that, and how, healthy that part of it. We in a traditional way, people might do some kind of a bhajan or a prayer or a lot of things to, keep that inner self, at a healthy. And we practice Sahajma, Abhyasis practice heartfulness meditation. We employ the Pranahuti aided meditation and help us to relax. And that way we are actually connecting with our inner self or nourishing the soul. That's what we say, right? And this is about the spiritual well-being, and so I always like this quotation from Lalaji. He says, God has hidden himself inside your hearts and exposed you. Hide yourself and expose God. So there is a part that we need to do. We need to really do, to take care of the, expose the inner self, or to take care of the, or to what we call nourishing the inner self. That's why we doing the daily practice of meditation, cleaning, bedtime prayer, constant remembrance, and attending a satsangs, individual sitting, etc. Okay, so I believe most of you will be familiar with that. So I will not spend too much time on this. I just move on. And the emotional well-being, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard about, the importance of emotional well-being, which is incidentally taking about 25 percentage of the, root cause of health issues. It's kind of derived from this, emotional imbalanced, well-being. So I am all years ago, when I happened to read about emotional well-being, I was kind of attracted by this quote: life is a comedy for those who think and tragedy for those who feel. you know so if you're a thinking person, if there's some problem happens, if you're able to think, why did it happen, then the, solution starts coming to you. Because normally, if you observe, if your friend or relative have a health issue, or a, any financial problem or any other relationship problem, we are extremely good at, giving a suggestion. But the same thing happens to us. We become suddenly, go down. We kind of become very, difficult to handle us. But at the same time, if you're able to think about the problem, you're able to find a solution. Where the feeling is feeling, we are not asking people not to have any feelings. Definitely, we all are, sentient beings. We all experience and express the feelings. We experience love and they express love. Whether it's a love or gratitude, we all express it. So it's very important. We need to have that feelings. But there is a way. There's a need to manage the feelings. So so among all the other well-beings, what the eight well-beings, the rest of them are more or less kind of they are fixed for most part of it. They don't change on a daily basis or a moment. They don't change on a hourly basis. Whereas the emotional is something it changes all the time. You know, so when we hear some unexpectedly great news, we get excited. At the same time, we get a very sad news, we immediately kind of lose heart. So these emotions play around with us a lot. So primarily, we're talking about emotions like happiness, sadness, anger, anxiety, fear, and these are the primary six emotions that we deal with. And here, I would like to introduce you to the term what we call amygdala. You know, this is a very time-consuming topic, but I will just touch upon the word amygdala for you to think. Why we behave, certain situation in a certain way. The God has put this thing called amygdala in our brains. Primarily to self-protect us. This amygdala is something is there in all beings. Whether it's an ant or it's a bee or a bug or everything has got this component called amygdala. That's what it protects us, and that's what is making us do the fight or flight whenever a person is threatened. Whenever a survival is in a questioned, instantly on an involuntary basis, the amygdala triggers the stress hormone, adrenaline, and we get into action. Either we run away from the situation or we are going to fight the situation. So here actually what we need to do is, yes, that is why probably all of you would have heard people telling, when you are in a too excited state, don't make any big offerings. you know we all have in Ithikas, we all have read how Shiva, Lord Shiva has put himself in trouble when some kind of a demon did a great penance, and Shiva was so pleased, he gave him some kind of a boon that became like a it became a trouble for him. So when you are in a very super excited state, don't make any offerings or don't make any blessing, or just allow yourself to give yourself some time. Similarly, when you're too upset with something, when something is really a kind of put you in a very irritable state or anger state, at that time also try to hold yourself. That's when, and that's why we use the word responsibility. Ability to choose your response. So we all, normally when people say you need to be responsible, you have to have the responsibility. What it actually means is ability to choose your response. You just even I think in Sahaj Marg philosophy, even Lalaji or Babaji has told, anger is a divine quality. It's not that anger was considered to be something very bad or something, but we need to actually discharge or show to the extent that is necessary. For that, how we actually can gain this emotional quotient is, I think we understand from a lot of our experts and practitioners of Sahaj Marg or heartfulness meditation, people who meditate for a long time, they naturally get this ability to develop this emotional quotient and behave appropriately. Depends on the situation. Yeah. And coming to the third dimension, that is primarily about the mental well-being. And today, like I'm mentioning, previously we had the challenge of malnutrition, the deficiency of nutrition and vitamins and minerals. Now today we have moved to what we call malnutrition. you know MALL, and consuming all kinds of junk food, processed food. Due to that, people put on, even there is a childhood or a child obesity is growing huge in the country. And in that process, we are people, not only because of this things, but also because of several reasons. Like I said, the inability to manage thoughts, inability to manage the problems in life, people fall prey to the mental health issues. you know and that is growing a lot. I understand that in fact, somebody told, whatever data that I found, the 7.5% of countries affected. This is like a pre-corona situation, and people say it's much higher. I'm sure you all have access to information like how many suicides happened during this in the lockdown time. And so the mental health is a lot of this mental health is something not only affect the poor, it also affects the rich. For example, the actress Deepika Padukone, she came out openly and explained that she was how much struggle she was going through. There are several people who, very successful people, otherwise very successful, financially rich from Hollywood, and several other people who ended their life, because of this, inability to handle the well-being, mental well-being. And I read that India is the second highest in terms of women's suicides, because of challenges, the mental health issue. For that, again, we resort to heartfulness meditation. But I found a kind of a technique. It's again from from ancient India, through sound healing. With the help of the what you see in the screen, Tibetan bowls. What actually happens is when somebody is actually in a stressful situation or a mental health challenge, what immediate problem he will find is a difficulty in relaxing himself, difficulty in getting sleep. They'll become sleep deprived, and they will not get sleep at all. And for that, actually the sound healing is one time tested, which is actually a very very ancient, centuries old. And that primarily takes your brain to when we all go to bed, we actually go to a what we call a what we call a beta state, and then finally we move to a theta state. The theta state is the what we call REM, rapid eye movement. That's when we go to real deep sleep. That's kind of sleep is needed for the whole body to heal itself, and so this sound healing, when I do the vibration with the when I gently tap the bowl, it produces certain vibration of sound, and that becomes very very healing for the brain and several organs, because a lot of our organs vibrate at a certain frequency. And I saw a photograph. In fact, even though we say, in fact, all of you would have seen our temple bells, having temple having bells. We all had that, in our temples, and now we still have that, but we don't know the science behind it. And also, the technique went to the Tibetan monks. They became good at it, and now in the world, Germans and the Americans, a lot of these healers from Germany and America, they actually extensively use it as a non-intrusive way to heal. I saw a photograph of a kind of a physician with a stethoscope having a bowl in his hands, and I saw another technician with a patient nearby, and she is actually having her all her ventilators and all her kind of inserts into her body, and he was actually using a bowl to gently tap that and kind of heal her inner organs. That's what he was doing. So sound healing, in fact, in our follow-on sessions, I would be sharing a lot of interesting information about how we all can benefit from it. The benefit of sound bath, what we call, is doing with the multiple sound bowls, is at the spiritual level. This I myself experienced it. It enhances the deeper inner absorption. Many times, even though we are all practitioners, we have challenge with going deeper sometimes. For that, sound healing helps along with our practice. Then emotional, it helps you to improve your EQ and develops responsibility, because now you are more alert, more alert, and you are now not making too many subconscious decisions. You are able to kind of calm yourself and make very very appropriate decisions. And the mental side, there is a lot of science to prove that it improves the immune system and energy levels. At the physical level, what I found is, because a lot of the reason why it became big success in US and other places, is especially among the celebrities, is they actually go through a very very rigorous schedule. It could be a sports, or it could be a, kind of a movie, and get totally stressed out. They have a very short time to recover or regain. For that, sound healing is found to be a very something that can relax, give you a deeper and quicker and easier way to relax the brain and the body. So that way, it is a very very result oriented, and it helps people within a short span of time. Yeah. And my last dimension about the physical well-being, we saw the spiritual, we saw the emotional, we saw the mental, and the last is the physical well-being. Like I said, it's about it comprises of sleep, then the exercises or some kind of movement of the body, then the water and the food. And what does our body contain? If you really look at what does the body contain, it primarily consists of over 70% of body is water. then we eat food, then we inhale oxygen. The body produces toxins. Of course, there are toxins we actually send through food, air, and water as well. But the body also produces a lot of toxins because of this, metabolism and body's, various functions. And so what we recommend is, drinking. So today, the water we are drinking is clean and pure, thanks to our purification method, purification systems, be it an RO or some form of, purification. But the water we drink today is clean and pure, but it has got some severely unhealthy properties. Due to that, the grade of water we drink today is almost like, drinking a kind of, putting kerosene to your car, or putting kerosene to a, aeroplane, instead of, petrol diesel for a car, or a jet fuel to the, aeroplane. And so we recommend drinking ionized, alkalized, antioxidant rich microclustered water for better cellular hydration, because body, you please remember, is nothing but is comprised of over 100 trillion cells. So whatever we are doing for the cells, and we are, like I said, we are, inhaling oxygen, we are eating food, and it is the water that is transporting these micronutrients from the food and oxygen to the 100 trillion cells. And how should one should drink water? We always recommend. I saw beginning of the session the way, Deepak was drinking. That's the right way of drinking, where you put in the water, like I'm demonstrating it to you. Mix it with the saliva, taste it. That's why I use the word bite your water. You just, don't gulp it. That's very important. And also we recommend you to sit and drink water. That's very important. And when it comes to food, we have a lot of knowledge about food. We have our own traditional knowledge about food. And what our recommendation, my recommendation based on the kind of trainings and the knowledge I have acquired is, we recommend going for a plant-based food, organic and whole food, and with especially vitamin D3 and vitamin B12. If you are not able to get it naturally from because vitamin D3 is something we get from sunlight, and vitamin B12 is naturally from bacteria. In fact, it is this bacteria that synthesizes B12 in the body. Only when we have the normal levels of vitamin B12, the RBC, creation will happen, and it is the RBC that is binding oxygen, and taking it through the cells. Today we hear about a lot of deaths due to corona is happening due to, low oxygen levels, etc., etc. So all have got a connection with B12 and, kind of a water, etc., etc. If somebody has got a good levels of vitamin B12 and somebody is drinking the right grade of water, he should not have challenge with oxygen. He must be able to pull off. And here, my recommendation: drink your food. In fact, I was talking to a naturopathy doctor here in Chennai. So what he was mentioning is, we have teeth only in our mouth, not in our stomach. The kind of food we eat, we have to bite it thoroughly, and then we have to almost kind of swallow it like a liquid. That's a right way of, eating the food. So this is something very, very important, especially a lot of health issues like a diabetes, happens even though somebody might be eating the right food and in the right time. If he's not going to eat in the right way, the whole thing is going to go wrong. He needs to drink the food. That's about the food. Yeah. And then again, some of the points we need to note down in the water side is, a lot of health issues in the body happens because of three problems. One is due to the, acidic waste in the body. Second is the oxidation of free radical damage. And third is the dehydration. I need almost an hour to, talk a lot about it. We will take it up in the follow-on session. Just you remember these words for the time being, acidic waste and oxidation, free radical damage, and cellular dehydration. So a lot of health issues happen because of that. So by choosing the right kind of water, you'll be able to replace the oxidized, water to antioxidant, a high acidity water to alkalized one, and the large clustered water that's causing the dehydration to a micro clustered water. Due to that, you will be able to prevent and reverse several health issues. Yeah. And if you remember one of the first slides, I was talking about the summary of health is, it's about the kind of what we breathe, what we think, what we drink, what we eat, and finally what we eliminate. So a lot of toxins needs to be eliminated from the body. Today, we unfortunately we are not able to eat 100% organic food. The kind of food we eat is having a lot of pesticides and chemical fertilizers, and that goes into the body, and that becomes the root cause of several health issues. So how to get rid of safely get rid of these toxins from the body? I recommend aloe vera. There's a certain grade of aloe vera that is very good for the body, that will be able to naturally cleanse and deeply remove all the toxins from the villi of the small intestine. Due to that, our absorption of the food will be much better, and the bioavailability will be much better in the body. Yeah. And I'm just going to recap what I spoke so far. So practice daily meditation and cleaning for our individual and global spiritual well-being. This is from the spiritual part of it. Then for the emotional side, give yourself some time, before you make any hasty decision. Develop that ability to, kind of, choose your response. That's what we need to do. And the third is developing a sense of gratitude, optimism, learn time management, to reduce stress, depression, anxiety, etc. A lot of times the stress happens because we are not organized. Simply we are not organized. If you're organized, we'll be able to manage stress a lot better. And the water side, always sit and drink water. Taste the water and drink. Don't gulp the water. Drink 1 liter of water for every 22 kg of your body weight. Avoid drinking water 30 minutes before and after food. Drink water before going to bed. This is very important. A lot of times people think, if I'm going to drink at the time of going to bed, I might, wake up several times, to go to the bathroom. But actually, only when we are in a standing position, because of gravity, we tend to urinate. When you're in a lie down position, we don't get that urge so much. The reason why we need to hydrate ourselves enough is only we are sleeping, but the rest of the organs are working around the clock. A lot of times we understand the heart attacks happen at the early morning, 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock, during that time, mainly because of dehydration. The blood, which is 90% is water, gets so thick, and it goes into the, even if there is a minor block in the arteries, it goes and collapses. That's why all these heart attack things they have. So it's very important we hydrate ourselves enough at the time of bed also. And we recommend drinking ionized, alkalized, antioxidant rich water, especially the tedious part of it. Today the whole of India, which is drinking a demineralized water, the RO, the need for RO got overemphasized. There is no need for reducing the hardness in places, landlocked places like Bangalore or Delhi, etc., because you do not have a coast around you, closer to you. Whereas places like Mumbai or Trivandrum or Chennai, we all need RO to reduce the hardness. So people, in the name of purification, cleaning the water, they're getting rid of all the minerals, and that's causing several health issues. In fact, a National Green Tribunal was enforcing all the government and all the RO companies to bring the TDS up to maximum of 500, because World Health Organization is actually mandating all the TDS of the drinking water to be closer to 500. We at least recommend 150 to 300 particle per minute. Yeah. And about the food, eat food when you're hungry. I know it's difficult. I think Babuji has spoken in depth about the importance for eating less, and try to grow your food as much as possible, and eat food at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Release, chew, and drink your food, like I already mentioned. And regarding the washing of the food, today we are all very careful about washing it multiple times with the turmeric and salt, etc. I recommend washing with 11.5 pH alkaline microclustered water that actually removes the pesticides and chemical fertilizer. All these pesticides and chemical fertilizers are actually not on the surface; they are actually inside. So we recommend washing with 11.5 pH microclustered water. Then drink aloe vera gel to remove the toxins from food, air, water. That will help you to improve your absorption and immunity. And with that, this is list of services I offer, through my holistic wellness experience center. I teach, of course, give sittings as a preceptor, and I also give sound healing sessions for individuals and corporates. I also found a sleep monitoring app In fact, I got few licenses to give away for free. There's a US company which is actually wanting to, they are actually quite successful in, monitoring the, sleep through an app in US, and they're launching it in India. If anybody would like to try free of cost, you can contact, brother Vishal or, brother Deepak. I'll be able to give those licenses. You can actually, it's an app based, through that you'll be able to, because a lot of health issues happen because of the kind of an abnormality with sleep that actually leads to what we call obstructive sleep apnea, and that has got several health issues, because the people who suffer from the obstructive sleep apnea will be breathless for a few minutes to few seconds to few minutes. During that time, they will not be getting oxygen into their body. That can actually cause potentially several health issues, and especially workers, truck drivers and other people who are doing some sensitive jobs. If they are not sleeping properly during night, their daytime will get affected, and there will be a huge liability if somebody truck driver is not driving, if we get sleep during the daytime. So the sleep monitoring app is something very important, I realized. And then we do help people test their water and give a demo of this ionized alkalized water. And I give advisory on the plant-based nutrition, because I myself, from a meat eater to a vegetarian, I became a vegan almost 11 years ago. So I have sufficient knowledge and experience in helping people make non-dairy based buttermilk and curd and cheese, etc. So I conduct through my team, I conduct cooking classes and give recipe for that. So I'd also kind of give people, kind of awareness about the aloe vera products for their external and internal health. Yeah. So I already explained my vision is to see a healthy and happy world. And our mission is to promote preventive healthcare through holistic wellness experience centers in each of the pin codes, to reduce the dialysis centers, diabetic clinics, cancer hospitals, and all these, dermatology clinics. We need hospitals and doctors only as a safety net, not all over the streets and roads. So I always tell people, you don't have to be a doctor to take care of your health. You need a doctor only when you lose health. You actually need a yoga and meditation trainer, you need a water and food expert, you need a nutritionist, you need a natural farmer to keep up good health. That's what we need. And with that, I conclude my session. I would like to quickly play a small 1 minute video. Just yeah. I hope all of you are able to see this.
Not,
Hello, Deepak, are you able to see this?
no, not as yet. You have to share it actually. Just use the share option.
Okay, got it. Yeah, let me. Okay, and share screen and
Yeah.
Windows Media Player.
Yes.
Yeah. This is like a lost 10 years of someone's life. Between a healthy person and an unhealthy person. Thank you so much, and I would like to thank Brother Deepak and Brother Vishal for the opportunity, and thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Yeah.
Sure. So I'll just allow people to
Sure.
unmute themselves if anybody wants to ask anything directly.
Sure.
We have around 5 or 6 minutes more, so we can open it up.
Yeah.
You can put in the chat, or you can ask it directly. Feel free to unmute and you can ask directly.
But I just want to remind people that we have posted the special focus learning link in the group, and those who can take it and paste it in your WhatsApp group and press it on anyone's number, you will join the group. In case you have difficulty, just leave your name and mobile number in the chat. We will add you to the group. The idea is next 15 days, Brother Regu and not Dr. Regu is going to take us down this learning path of all these topics that he has discussed and make us travel a little deeper and get the impact into our life. So those who want to take the next step, I'm going to be a part of the group. I just love what Regu did. You're all welcome. And it's free for this group who is live. Thank you so much. So Regu, I can ask a question if nobody else is having anything to say. Among the different types of exercise methods, there is aerobics, there is yoga, there is walking. What is your call on that? How do you, for what type of a person, what kind of exercise do you suggest? Is there some pattern, or you say kuch bhi kar lo, it's okay, you can do anything?
Yeah, I think the first, what I understand is the first level, just, move yourself, It could be a simple, walking, because nowadays a lot of them, walking on the terrace, and I have seen people posting that they did a half marathon, within the, running around their houses, so I say, just the first step is to move yourself, because human body or any animal for that matter designed for moving, and if people, and then comes the specializations, for example, if they want to have combine some entertainment, they can go for a Zumba session, or even there is a Bollywood dance, which actually people take it as a fitness, so there are a variety of things people can do. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, I loved what you said about water and food. There's an ancient shloka which says that drink your food and eat your water.
Correct. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat. I'm just going to read it out.
Yeah.
Should we take water only when we're thirsty?
Not really, actually, because in Kerala, what they have done is they came up with the bell for water. They started ringing bell for water 3 times a day. Because if you're in a very cold, very kind of a cool, breezy place, you won't feel thirsty actually. Only people working in a farm or doing some kind of a physical exercise or physical based work, the body will demand. They will feel. The rest of us very cool at night, we will not actually, our senses are off, but still the body organs need water. So I recommend people drinking 1 liter of water for 22 kg of the body weight. And this, whatever this Kerala, they started this water bell 3 times a day. They started practicing in Karnataka and also in Telangana, because children more than any, because the first and foremost consumer of the water is the brain. Among everyone, it is the children who consume the brain a lot. They actually put a lot of knowledge, and they have to memorize a lot. So more than anyone, children need to hydrate a lot. Yeah, everyone, of course, need to hydrate ourselves a lot. Yeah. So we have to measure. The answer is we have to measure the quantity and drink. We cannot depend on the body to give the sensing. Yeah.
Amazing, Regu. I'm just reading the next question from Vivek.
Yeah.
He says, amazing session, doctor. Regu is not a doctor. Better than one. How do we get access to the water that is so nicely explained in our homes and apartments? Is there a company that deals in the same?
Yeah, I can actually, I believe through Vishal, I can communicate, more details about. If you could join our extended session, we'll explain in detail. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Vivek.
Vivek has joined, so we'll talk to him in the smaller group.
Yeah.
Brother, I have a question about consumption of aloe vera. How do we consume that? We have aloe vera in our garden. Can we add it to the food while cooking? Is it okay?
Yeah. See, aloe vera, what I learned is, there are 400 types of aloe vera, and 12 of them have toxins. Only 4 to 5 have the, exact, permissible health and, healing properties. So it's very important you kind of, take it to the, whatever you're consuming, take it to nearby lab. Make sure it does not have toxins. And after that, there are actually a little bit of specifics, probably if you could join our session, I'll be glad to give more information about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a last question, which is there on the accessing of the sleep monitor app and the proper health guide. You can just take that up and then we can wind up.
Sure. Like I was mentioning, there are a lot of people who are, above 40s and things like that, especially people who snore and, a lot of other, health issues. What people have found is the sleep problems are, happens like, without our knowledge. A lot of us who have the problem, we also will not know we have the problem. And at a later stage, when they are diagnosed with some major health issue, the doctors start doing the root cause and find that the problem is with the sleep. At that time, the treatment or the diagnosis is very, very expensive. So what this company has found is ordinary people like us who are 40 and 50 above, as part of our prevention, can monitor our sleep, maybe once in a few weeks or once in a month, and make sure, all the, data is, showing right. So it's a more of a prevention to begin with. Yeah.
Awesome. I think he wanted the app, so Yogesh is number 1 on our list, Vishal.
Sure.
Perfect. I mean, I think it's...
No, actually, I am number 1. I'm going to test Yogesh number 2.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have a few licenses, about close to 5 licenses. And, you're all welcome to take. Who is interested to monitor your sleep, I'm more than happy to, share it.
I want to see my snoring issue, actually. So I'm interested.
Okay. Yeah. See, actually, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, sister. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would also like to,
Sure.
that app, sleep monitoring.
Yeah, please share your details to brother, Vishal, and I'll be glad to give the details to you.
Vishal, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, sure.
See, primarily,
I get a very good sound sleep.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
But then still, I would like.
It's good to do that. It's good to monitor the sleep, because I realize if somebody is living for 90 years, 30 years we are simply sleeping actually. So it's very important. Quality of sleep is monitored a while, not on a daily basis. Yeah. And
I have one request to make to all of you. Deepak is going to wind up. Those who attend live and who really enjoy the session, and even if you have something to improve, how we could have done something more, please put it in the group. After the session, if there is a lot of interaction in the group, it will motivate others to join in. So that's my simple, humble request. If you can do that, and also comment on Brother Kishore's work that he did with all of us this week. If you like that, please comment on it. Our group will be open till 12 o'clock today. Remove some time and give you a comment that really encourages us and our people who have contributed and gives us a lot of energy to plan for the future. Thank you so much, and I hand it back to Deepak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vishal, and thank you, Raghu.
Welcome. Yeah.
I think a good round of applause, virtual applause to Raghu for having.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
It's beautiful, and it gives us a lot of understanding of the need of water. So, and the importance of how to eat food, simple things, I think. And the last video was beautiful. I just loved it. How do you want to spend the last 10 years of your life? Crawling or walking?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, we have a choice.
Thank you so much for contributing to the Heartful Learners community, and looking forward to see you inside the focus group. So
sure.
Coming to the end of the program.
Sure.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. This is Vishal and Deepak signing off for the Heartful Learners Academy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.